I wish I had my fan with me. This would be the perfect time to snap it open and fan myself and say, Brain Candy Podcast.
It really would be. Welcome, anyway, episode 922. We're fanless. You need like a desk fan and maybe a desk fan holster or something.
Suze, listen. Yeah. That's usually where it is.
Oh.
But I took it with me this weekend because I went to Pride.
And you need a fan?
Well, it happens to be a rainbow colored mushroom fan. So I absolutely need it. And it was very popular. I mean, in my mind. Yes. It was fun to snap. It was fun to dance with. I like having something in my hand when you're on the dance floor, you know?
Yeah, that does help.
It's like a prop.
Like at Timmy and Tyler's wedding, we had those lighted, like foamy things.
Yes.
It did help.
Yes. So it's like and it also was really hot. So also
it's useful,
you know? Mm-hmm. So practical. I usually would have that. And it's like super gay. So,
but where did you leave it?
Well, it's just like downstairs in my bag where, you know, I haven't unpacked yet from the wild festivities.
Yeah, how was it?
Oh my gosh.
She thought I'd never ask.
I thought you'd never ask. Right? No, I knew you were going to ask, which is why I'm so excited. It was so much fun. I have not been to, I went to Pride a couple years ago in Denver. Mm-hmm. And then before that, I don't think I'd been to Pride since I was the Grand Marshal of Pride.
Well, I mean, it's hard to follow
Long
that.
Beach. Right.
Yeah. You peaked too early.
I did. I peaked way too early.
I mean, let's talk about it. That's just really, we shouldn't brush over the fact that you were a Grand Marshal in a gay parade.
Yes. I was the community Grand Marshal. And which is just what they called it. It was like me, and we were people who were doing things to help benefit the community and bring awareness and all that kind of good stuff. Mm-hmm. And it was so much fun. I got to ride in an old vintage car, and I took my grandma with me as my guest in the car because I always felt like she was in the closet. Yeah. And I'll post a picture of her, and you guys be the judge.
Yeah, the apple doesn't fall far.
Right. I feel like what do all the women in my family have in common? Kind of giving out
witchy vibes and lesy vibes.
For sure. And yeah, there you go. So yeah, I took my grandma with me and she was so cute. She was like practicing her wave the whole time.
That's
she
really
was
cute.
having so much fun.
What a special memory.
Yeah, and she was wearing those, you know, those old people sunglasses that like wrap around your regular glasses that they give you.
I fucking love those.
She loved them. She was wearing those the whole time. Yep. And then, and I believe she was wearing something that some like gay, you know.
Here's what I want to know about somebody like your grandma who was such, at minimum, an ally, right?
Such an ally.
Yes, just so supportive of our queer friends and family.
Yes.
And you know how I have the hot take conspiracy theory that Dolly Parton is gay?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, and everyone always says, but like, she would just say it. She loves the gays. She always talks about being a drag queen, BBB. Yeah. And so... You're a grandma. If you think she was gay,
right.
How do you reconcile those two things?
Suze, I think it's the same reason why before we pressed record, I was talking to you about some of the feelings that you have. Mm-hmm. Even, okay. Here's maybe a way that people who, I don't know, are straight can understand it, or you know, when you give yourself a really hard time for something, but if you imagine somebody else in that situation, or if your therapist asked you, well, what would you do for a friend? Mm-hmm. You're like, oh my God, well, I would never say that stuff to a friend. I would never be critical that way to a friend. I would never, you know, we're like more understanding, more compassionate, give them the benefit of all the good stuff. Mm-hmm. But then towards us, we are like our own worst critics. We're very judgmental, very harsh. We don't give ourselves a benefit of all the opposites, basically. Mm-hmm. And so I feel like maybe it's somehow related to that, because I even have a little bit of that. I think it's a big reason why I went back to dating men after I felt very vulnerable and exposed after being on the real world. And it felt like I'm already I don't like feeling different.
That's right.
I don't like feeling like, as you put it, the other. You know?
Yeah. And you just thought, if you could choose, if you're fine,
right.
you know, passing as straight or whatever, it's sort of like, it's the path of least resistance. And it's like more sort of typical, you don't have to defend it.
Yeah. And in a way, it's the path of least resistance. It's easier. And then I think about the trauma that my grandma came from and what she went through as a child and, you know, in her first marriage. And I think how you just accept whatever, you know, anything's better than maybe what it was like growing up.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll take this.
I'll just get into this slot.
Yes.
This like already built space, right?
Yeah.
The
because
default.
Other things are really hard too. And it's like, I can't deal with another variable, another factor.
Right. Another obstacle or thing to overcome or whatever. And it reminds me, I mean, this is now the third episode we're going to talk about it, but the problem that Paul Rubens' Pee Wee Herman had, where he is the champion of otherness and weirdness and differentness and be as eccentric and wild and wacky as you want. But he just wasn't accepting of himself in the way that he accepted other people being like that.
It's so relatable.
But it's so fascinating.
I know. It's so, you never, I cried my eyes out at Pride because I was like, oh my gosh, this feels so good.
Beautiful.
It feels so beautiful.
Yes.
It feels so sad that everybody here has felt like the other. Oh my God, I'm going to cry right now. When they had those little stations that, or like the little tent that had like mom hugs or dad hugs, I couldn't even look at dad hug guy. I couldn't even look. I couldn't even do it. I was like, I can't even look at that booth because it's like, my family that side of the family would have never accepted me, would have never, like, I was already, you know, rejected in many ways. Oh, it's just too much, you know?
Yeah.
And so you're like, okay, I'll just settle in. I'll just take that slot, you know, that I think I could fill, but that doesn't feel right. And it doesn't feel authentic.
Well, that was hollow and it was a false comfort.
It's so crazy. You know, I in our close friends group, I posted a picture of me this weekend with my girlfriend and another one of our friends from our camping trip. And so many people were like, oh my God, you look so happy. This is like way more than people have said before. And I want to be like, what did I look like before? Was I just like a dead inside?
I would say guarded.
Guarded. Okay. Cause I'm like, what is, and I really am. It does feel really nice, but
guarded
it is
and
shocking.
sort of like you were very much aware of not ruffling feathers of your partner, not making waves, wanting to stay in line.
Wow.
Like it felt like.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we're closer than ever too. Because you are able to truly be yourself in all areas of your life. That is a gift.
Oh, and then I don't feel rejected for it, you know? So that feels even better. I was just laughing with my mom, having this talk with my mom this morning, because she was saying the same thing about you're so happy, and I could just tell.
You are.
And she goes, yeah, you know, that's about as long as it takes. It takes us like 40 years to figure it out.
Everybody says that. And menopause, people say.
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay. Well, what am I doing? I'm just like,
no, it's so great.
You know, before that, you know, you think, okay. It takes that long to be able to just appreciate it. The other people maybe who appreciate things like that are, you know, I don't know. I see this in people who have like faced like insurmountable odds, or, you know, like my girlfriend works with amputees, and I like imagine people, like their stories, like the things that they've overcome, and the people I've met, and the stories that they've, you know, that they have. That's like, they tend to get fast tracked to that feeling of like acceptance and just
life gets real.
Yeah, maybe it's that coming close to it all being taken away or losing it or something. I'm
sure you haven't sort of unpacked all of it though in terms of processing it, but just so I know, like you're not saying you wouldn't want to be gay though, right?
No, I'm not saying that at all.
Yeah.
Oh my God, no. I'm saying I'm acknowledging that or accepting that I don't fit into the majority, to the norm. And I think when you don't fit into the norm in a few different categories, or when a lot of different things make you feel like that, it can feel kind of isolating, or it can make you feel like maybe I should just pretend so that I can fit in a little more. And so much, and then I think about, wait a sec, I was on reality television where so much of that was trying to be a way that was accepted and acceptable to a huge audience.
Yeah.
And I was...
It's a heavy load. It just is. Yeah. It is a lot. And it is interesting, though, for a lot of people, that it is easier to be accepting of other people and their differences and oddities and silliness than it is to be accepting of your own and forgive your own whatever.
Yeah.
Man, but it's relatable.
It's weird and wacky, and it just shows we're just always on this journey of discovering who we are, and I don't think that ever stops, you know? Yeah. I think my grandma, up until she was 99 years old, and she was still learning a lot about who she was, and
I know.
We'll probably do the same.
Too.
Yeah.
Well, and if you are on that journey, this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. And if you need some help,
who better to help you? Oh, come on. Yes.
It's true. Therapy is such a great tool for taking that trip and that journey of self-acceptance, of exploration. And we all need to talk to people, whether it's about stress or grief or relationships or whatever, or being gay. Yeah. Exactly. And you can find, if you want to specifically get a therapist at BetterHelp that is specializes in that or whatever, you can find them. You can filter it that way, however you want. And it is the largest online therapy provider in the world. BetterHelp can provide access to mental health professionals with a diverse variety of expertise. Talk it out with BetterHelp. Our listeners get 10% off their first month at BetterHelp.com/braincandy. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/braincandy. Shout out to Sherry.
That's so great.
But I'm really glad you had fun at Pride, and it was meaningful.
Yes. And let me tell you, Pride, it was called Pride in the Park, and we went to Pride in Vail. So we drove up to Vail and then went camping and then went to Pride.
Like all your favorite things.
Oh, all my favorite things. And this was like a very family friendly, small.
Well, it was Vail. They're civilized.
Right. There, it was and it was like fancy. It was in Beaver Creek, where like it was so fancy, and it felt like it was way less crowds. It was all my favorite things. One of the things that is not my favorite thing about any crazy, like, big group of people that gets to, whether it's a huge concert or festival or Pride or, you know, whatever. There's always the people who party a little too hard.
Oh, yeah.
And my brain cannot help but write fan fiction.
Oh, yeah, I love it.
And it becomes hard to focus on anything else when I'm walking down the street. And
what did you witness?
Like, no, nothing this time. At Denver Pride, it's been like that. at like Coachella, it was like that. Those
concerts. There's
sometimes
usually,
that and any like festival. So those can be a little difficult. I have to like.
You have to separate yourself. Sarah.
I do. It's so hard. But, I just want people to party and have fun, but I want them to do it responsibly.
That's right, Sarah. That's a good PSA.
Yes. Okay, one thing I just have to mention that because you did talk about the Pee-wee's Playhouse thing.
Yeah.
Can you Susie. Okay, listeners.
We're going to fill you in.
I have to fill you in on something.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
I'm driving in the car.
Yeah.
With my sweetie pie on the way up to I don't know, maybe it was right before we left or maybe that morning. And she goes, "Oh my God, I listened to your podcast." And I have in my possession the entire Pee Wee Herman Playhouse set and the Playhouse.
Yeah. The miniatures.
I go, in storage? She goes, no. On the floor of my bedroom. I was just
her room is her like childhood bedroom is still intact, like a museum.
Yeah. And so we get on FaceTime with her mom, and her mom opens it up, and then
she makes her mom get out the Playhouse and like,
set it up.
Show each piece.
Yes.
Set it up like it's actually being used.
Yep. My favorite moment is when she picks up Jambi and her mom goes, "How do I open it?" And in unison, we both say, "Mechalek, hi, Mechalek, and we were dying.
That's so great.
She goes to put it away, and I go, "Goodbye, friends."
Oh, it's so cute. And then they included me because they're taking screenshots of the FaceTime.
Yeah.
I see like her mom's hand showcasing these items. And then Sarah and her girlfriend in this small corner picture, like laughing their asses off.
Yeah. Can you believe that I told you I was looking for on eBay?
I started looking. I had alerts out for all this stuff.
Don't worry.
Yeah.
We got it. In better mint condition, way better than anything I found. When her mom found out, she's like, "It's going for what? How much on there? Hang on a sec, we should sell it." Like each little piece, we're talking somewhere between $24 to $50+ for each little figurine, and she's got every one. And that's they're going for that in shitty condition. We're gonna play with it. It's going to be so fun.
I know. I was like, get that thing out of that bedroom and put it on display.
Okay, here's my question. Because people ask me, do you play with your toys? And I am always like, no. But because I'm not like getting them out and going like, "Oh, Rocky, like, nice to meet you." But I am setting them up.
Yeah, there's a lot of setups.
Scenes. So does that count? Does that count as playing with them?
Yeah, I think you got me when you said scenes. Like, if you just put them on your shelf, like, that'd
but
be
they
one
have
thing.
to have a story behind what they're doing.
Then I would say yes.
Okay, you're right. I am playing with them, aren't I? That's fine.
So fun.
I know. I watched Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse this morning as I ate breakfast, and
so did
it was. See, this is fantastic.
It's timeless.
I love it. It really is. It does hold up.
It holds up.
It really does. Okay. But I have fun things to teach you guys about. This is interesting. I feel like this is somehow connected to what we were talking about earlier about being a rule follower.
Okay.
And you tell me. So there was a study that was done recently. I can't remember where it was. But they wanted to find out if people were intrinsically rule followers or if we follow the rules because of like external motivations and this like message to stay in line based on like societal pressures. So these researchers asked over 14,000 people to do a really simple task on a computer. There was this game where they had to move a circle to a red light, wait for it to turn green, and then go to the finish line. And the goal was to get as much money as possible. And everyone started with $20, but they lost $1 every second that they waited. So if you waited
green,
before it turned, even at any point, However
wait,
long
did they
it took
tell
you.
them that?
Yes.
Okay.
So if somebody wanted more money, they could just break the rule and skip the light.
Red light?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And finish faster.
And they know that they can break it. And
there's no one watching.
This is insane asylum.
And they were told it was completely anonymous.
Yeah.
And you would think you would, right?
I would. And I would break that rule.
Shockingly, about 70% of people followed the rule anyway.
This is outrageous.
Even when researchers said, hey, you can make more money by ignoring the rule.
What is wrong with people?
Uh-huh.
No, why would they do that? I'm glitching.
Okay, then the scientists asked the participants if they thought that other people would follow the rule.
Yeah.
And turns out that those who believed that others would wait at the red light were also more likely to wait at the red light. That suggests that people carry this internal expectation of what is socially acceptable, even when they're alone.
Wait.
So we think that all the people, that 70%, so I would be in that 70% who's like, oh my God, yeah, of
that's
course.
Right, you would.
Obviously. There's like nobody coming and I'm still waiting at the, like.
I've done that too, though.
It's so, I'm like, what if somebody sees? So even then, so they asked those people, what are other people more likely to do? And so people like me said, well, they're going to stop.
Uh-huh.
Because
what about people like me?
Well,
the rule breakers, would they guess that people would break the rule?
Oh, that's a really good question. I did not see that in there. But that, I think, is an important thing.
If you rewind our show about a minute, I said, like, I expected everyone to break the rules. So I think the answer would be that we all think everyone's doing what we're doing.
Yes, I think that's it, too.
Okay.
A lot of us follow the rules just because we believe in following rules. It's not about getting caught or fitting in. That there's some almost like biological, intrinsic thing that says you should follow the rules no matter what.
You know what's funny? I was thinking how this type of person I would guess is an optimistic person like you know, rule followers.
Absolutely.
You know, you think there's an order and we're all trying to be decent and you believe the best in people.
Yes.
And like people like me are more cynical, more like this all is anarchy. What are we doing?
Or you're realistic. And
well,
I would wonder how it breaks down if there's a age, or not age, but order, like if it's oldest child and youngest. Because I could see in my family and in, you know, that there might be something about having to, I don't know, be in that position.
I mean, they do say that the oldest children are very much
because think
more
about what you
to be. Yeah.
When you have little kids in tow, I was totally like, it's okay, guys, don't worry. Let's put a smile on face. Everything's going to be okay. Mom and dad are fighting, but it's okay. We're going to be, and the youngest kid would be like,
this is a bunch of bullshit.
This is bullshit. I see what's really going on. Don't lie to me.
Okay, Sarah, here's where my theory sort of like makes no sense though, because I also have a separate theory that people that are late, more likely to be late, are optimistic. And
totally.
They always think they can get things accomplished faster. And it'll be like, they're supposed to be somewhere in 5 minutes. And they'll be like, well, we get there. It's fine.
Right.
And that type of person you wouldn't expect to be a rule follower, because if the rule is be on time.
You see what I mean? The thing that the other variable that we have in that is the way that I see people late because they're avoiding the emotion of whatever that event brings about.
So I never thought about that.
That is what procrastination really is. We're not avoiding the event itself or the activity itself. We're avoiding the emotion that activity, event, interaction, whatever creates. And often we're not aware of it. So when I'll say for myself, when I've been in therapy and I know we're going to be talking about something heavy,
Yeah.
I'm always 3 minutes late to those sessions. I don't know why I can't seem to get there because I am doing things to delay.
Subconsciously.
Yes.
Yeah.
To delay what this emotion that I know I'm going to feel. It could be anything. It could be even if you have.
Sarah I do this, remember? All of a sudden, as soon as I pull into the gym parking lot, I'm like, I have an email. I have to send this email. And I see other people in the gym parking lot in their cars, and I'm like, we are all avoiding that.
The procrastinator on the one who does their taxes, it might be because you hate paying that big bill, that giving all that money, or it could be a reminder that maybe you forgot to do a bunch of stuff over the year. So it's bringing up that feeling of shame or disappointment in yourself for what you weren't able to do.
Or you spent too much.
Yes. All of that. So you're not really procrastinating on, it's not that actually doing your taxes, getting in the mailbox is hard. It's all the other stuff.
So, okay, what about this too, about the people that are following the rule for no fucking reason?
Yeah.
I think there might be an element of sanctimony. I think...
100%. I know it. I feel it. And I've even said, if that feels good to you, lean into that. Because it's not actually... the worst thing, I say I often will say this when clients are, around like the holidays when you have to like go to maybe Thanksgiving with the family and take the high road 1,000 times. Yeah. And then you lean into that feeling of, oh my God, I am so much better than everybody at this table because look at how I'm able to emotionally regulate. I don't give a shit. What road do you have to take to get to that?
All right.
Pat yourself on the back. Nobody else at the dinner table is,
Well, I'm feeling sanctimonious about how great my cat situation is right now because we are using Packagin, our new partner. This stuff is freaking
Susie,
great.
I heard a whole thing about this, I believe, on NPR. And it is really fascinating what they have done, the science behind this. If you are somebody who is allergic to pets, this is a great thing to have in their home. Yes. If you're somebody who has pets but isn't allergic, but has friends who are allergic, this is something that's non-toxic that you just spray and wipe the pet in, to make it more comfortable for your guests. I think of it as something when you have the towels for the guests and the sheets for the guests.
Yes.
And the soaps for the guests. Yeah. This is going in my guest closet of
For sure. Because I know, like, I always tell you, we don't have windows that open, but we have all these freaking cats. We're about to get another one. And so it's hard for people that happen to have allergies. Here's the thing. Okay, so you have the spray neutralizer. There is no harsh chemicals or side effects or anything. It's really effective. You can see the data on their website. They also have this thing. I have not tried it yet. You sprinkle it in the cat's food.
Oh, that's
It doesn't taste like anything. And it neutralizes them from the inside.
This is we know how to do this. This is what all those weird research on, like when we read the articles, we're like, and we're like, what? It's for this. It's for stuff like this. I just know it. We probably talked about the science behind this years ago.
The neutralizing spray, it's got this thing called Whisker Block, which is hilarious.
Adorable.
It's a protein to bind and neutralize allergens in your home. It works. It's awesome. Here's the deal they have for our listeners. Your pets aren't just pets, they're family, so get the relief you need with Packagin. Head to packagin.com/braincandy for 15% off your order. Get an exclusive gift for our listeners at checkout. That's PACAGEN.com/braincandy, 15% off your order and an exclusive gift. One last time, that's packagin.com/braincandy for 15% off and an exclusive gift. Auto apply to checkout, and it's on our website if you forget that code. Okay. So like, I think people do have like a little bit of like sanctimony about being a rule follower. It says people that always like, whenever they start the like emergency instructions on a plane, are always like staring at the flight attendant.
I was that in school. There was like so much about, because I think it's part of your identity. You feel like I am a rule. I want justice is a really important part of your identity. Absolutely.
Yeah. And hey, that's great. Be sanctimonious because maybe you are fucking better.
and the flip side of that coin is maybe a little bit harsh on themselves when they don't conform to that norm. Like I can see that the same thing maybe that makes me the person who absolutely has to return my shopping cart might also be the thing that makes me, that like made me feel like I needed to conform to a certain kind of lifestyle in order to get approval from society.
And there's good and bad in every trait.
Right.
And like flip sides of each.
Yeah. And that's just, fun to be.
That's cool to know.
Cool to know. So I encourage people to embrace their weirdness. I did have this one weird interaction you tell me what this was at Pride.
Okay.
So, the performer just finished, and we were like, everybody was kind of getting up and walking around, going back to the rest of the booths and everything in the little, hangout area away from the stage. And they were playing great music. They were playing Beyonce. And so I'm snapping my fan, and I'm dancing and I'm having fun. And this straight guy, he's there with his wife, I could tell, a straight couple, goes in this exact tone, "Somebody's having fun." I was like, "Yes, sir. And what the fuck you gonna do about it?" Like
you got defensive.
I got defensive. What was that?
Did you say anything back?
No,
or
I
you
of course
just
didn't say anything. But I was just like,
okay,
what the fuck was that?
I can see you feeling that way, especially because he's straight.
Yeah.
I think probably.
And I was like, have you never been to Pride before? Do you not? I'm not even wearing pasties right now. Like, I'm wearing all my clothes and performing very controlled dance moves. Do you even see the performers on drag queens?
I see why you were annoyed. I validate that lived experience.
Thank you, Susie. Thank you.
I do think it's a compliment, though.
Okay.
Even if you didn't mean it that way.
Right.
Because you were visibly having a fantastic time.
The best time.
And maybe he thought it was like too much. Do you think he thought it was too much? Like you were being over the top?
Yeah, more like nobody else was dancing at that moment.
I hate that.
I know.
I've been there, Sarah.
But like all the theys and gays would have loved it.
Yeah, the theys and gays for sure.
So
straight. Was he white? I assume.
Yeah, of course.
Straight
Hello,
white
it's
men.
Vail.
Right.
And we're at it was very oh my God. When they did, I was like, okay, where are my, LGBTQ people at cheer. Where are the straight allies at cheer? It was like 50-50. I know.
That makes it hard. Okay.
I know.
I love that they're allies, though.
I do too. I love it. It's so great, so wonderful. And I'm saying that to somebody who wouldn't have cheered. Right.
He needed to zip it.
Yeah,
we don't need. I hate Captain Comment.
That was it. It was like Captain Comment, and I was just like, I don't need that, sir. Carry on.
We don't want your director's cut of this moment.
Yeah,
they always want to add commentary when they're not included in something.
So I dance more.
Yeah, dance more.
Yeah,
more fans,
more snapping, more.
Send me a link to that fan though, for real.
Okay. Oh yeah, I'll just get you one. It's gonna be great.
Well, but is there a whole bunch of different kinds?
I mean, they're different. So many. You could have it say whatever you want. We can when you want. Yeah. Fucking.
Let me know. Don't keep that to yourself, Sarah.
I won't. Oh yeah. We'll make really sure for our concert you'll have
story though, and I love. This is a fun one because I like when we do that, when science is helpful in us talking about how we fit into it and people fit into it. That's a good one, Sarah.
Thank you. It felt like I was like, this feels connected to a lot of things. And it was just a little blurb that I heard in Scientific American or just a short little write-up, when they do just this little findings from this. And
if you follow them on Instagram, it's great for that kind of thing.
Oh, I wonder if I do.
You probably do.
I probably do,
But yes, you're right. That I can't believe anyone would stop at a pretend red light. But go ahead. or sometimes a real one.
Right. Okay. This is a follow-up to a story that I just have to tell you about because it also fits this.
Okay.
It's an update. Remember, well, how could you forget when I didn't steal the plants?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've been thinking about it a lot.
Of course you have. Me too. So I go back. I went to a different store.
Yeah.
And
did they update all the signs to have? Okay. I just wondered if it was like you were the catalyst for them changing it on the one.
No,
okay.
At the other store that I went to, they had done a better job separating them. It was just like lazy,
got it.
You know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Display work at one of them. So
yeah,
I went to another store and different chain, like different. That was Home Depot. I went to a competitor. This was Lowe's. And I'm just saying, I don't give a fuck. What are they going to do? What are they going to do? Please.
Right,
So, and that doesn't even matter to the story, but they had this one plant there that is one of the most amazing. It's called an iron cross begonia. It is one of the coolest things I've ever seen.
The crisscross.
Yeah, it's so cool. I'm going to send you a picture of this leaf. So I had already purchased this plant.
Yeah.
And I was like reading up about all of them, and I learned that you can propagate them from their leaves.
Oh,
and
great!
Like make a whole bunch of new babies. Like this plant loves you. This is gonna be great. So I go in there, and then they got a new shipment of plants, and they had scarlet begonias, which are so cool, and I've never ever seen ever. But I love that Grateful Dead song, and so I'm like, I have to buy this. So I go and I purchase.
You act like I don't know that song, but.
She was scarlet begonias stuck into
Grateful Dead people always think everyone knows every Grateful Dead song.
Well, it was then also made into Sublime did a cover of it, and that became really popular. So most people know the Sublime cover of Scarlet Begonias, but I thought that if I said Scarlet Begonias by Sublime, you were going to be like, did they do the original? Or did they?
Yeah,
because that usually happens. So I felt like I would go with the original one, and here we are.
I'm sorry.
So no, it's all fine. It's great.
I'm sorry.
So then I go, and thunder, if you hear that in the background. It's so loud. We're in the same situation, right?
Yeah, right.
So I'm purchasing my new scarlet begonia, and there happens to be a broken leaf of the iron cross begonia sitting there.
Opportunity knocks.
I pick it up.
Sarah answers.
Let me tell you, my heart was racing like I was in committing grand theft auto.
No.
If you were to look at I hope I was wearing my Apple Watch to be able to go back. Yeah. To be able to see. And mind you, this is a broken leaf off of a flower that is now.
Yes, it's refuse.
That will be swept up and put in the garbage.
Yes.
Nobody actually cares about.
I love it.
I think I am robbing a bank in my heart.
Well, because you know that it has value.
Yes. To me, I'm like, oh my God. This is $678.
You're getting like something for free.
Oh yes,
right. Okay.
In a mere 1 to 2 months with a lot of care and tons of misting and basically daily maintenance.
Right.
This will be
humidity
a few stems of a plant that then I can maybe propagate, put together, and then turn into one plant.
If Sarah plays her cards right, in 3 years she'll have a new begonia.
Yeah, that is exactly what this is like. Oh, God, it's so funny.
I'm happy for you, though, because I think I can speak for both of us. We felt a sense of loss. We felt like you could have had something and you said no.
Yeah. And I said regret. No. So made sure. So, so that felt like I was like making up for it in a way. And now I am misting this plant and tending to it.
I can't wait to see it in many months many months time,
and watch, it's gonna like not make it, because that's how propagation goes. It's really hard to
well, I'll tell you what is growing healthy, and that's my hair, thanks to Nutrafol.
Absolutely. I finally was able to. I had been collecting some and waiting to give them to a friend, and I'm going to see her in a bit, and I can't wait to hear the update because I love when my friends come to me and are like, okay, you were right. And we're going to be on like a girls trip. Oh, let me tell you this, well, because you just have to hear this. For our girls trip, we decided that everybody is going to bring one of their favorite things, and we're going to do like a white elephant exchange, but not white elephant because it's good stuff, like with one of our favorite things. And I bring a Nutrafol.
Oh, that's great.
Because I know that a lot of these women are that's what they're concerned about. And I thought that would be a really popular thing. So I got 3-month supply of Nutrafol and the skin stuff as my thing. That's like, what's one of your favorite things to share with, like Oprah's favorite things? So that's going to be mine.
That is such a great gift.
Thanks. I thought so too.
And like, there's so much emotion attached to hair.
That's why I picked it.
Yeah. And people that are struggling with it have like a feeling of desperation where they just feel like somebody help me.
Yeah. Right.
And so here I am to tell you,
right,
I have the answer.
Yeah.
And so does science, and it's Nutrafol. And if you happen to be struggling, maybe you're feeling there's some thinning, your hair just wasn't what it used to be, whether you've had a pregnancy or a hormone change or menopause, lots of things.
Medication.
Stress.
Yeah.
Medication. Well, you're in luck because Nutrafol is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement brand trusted by over 1.5 million people. Anything truly worthwhile takes time and effort, that's for sure. And with Nutrafol, see thicker, stronger, faster growing hair and less shedding in 3 to 6 months. Every single time I go to my girl, she says, your hair doesn't shed. It used to shed so much. And she's like, there is not shedding like that anymore. And there's a reason.
Yeah, good.
This summer, stop worrying about your hair. Start making memories. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter promo code BRAINCANDY. Find out why Nutrafol is the best-selling hair growth supplement brand at Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code BRAINCANDY. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code BRAINCANDY.
Yeah. Okay. Here's another story for you.
Okay.
Did you know that the moon might be sitting on over $1 trillion of palladium and other precious metals?
Did you say the moon?
Yes.
No.
But it's yes. But there's a catch. Legally, we might not be allowed to touch it.
Why?
Because of all of the treaties and agreements
about the moon
around celestial bodies.
Yeah, I mean,
oh my God, that thunder is so loud.
That was loud. I heard.
Did you hear it?
Yeah, I did.
It's so loud. Like if all the lights go out, it's because I got hit by lightning or something.
If anyone's gonna get hit by lightting, it's Sarah.
I have an awesome app that shows you where the lightning is just struck.
What's it called?
It's called, I believe, Lightning. Let me see. Yeah, it's called.
Where'd they come up with that?
It is called My Lightning Tracker.
Okay, my lightning tracker.
It's really fun. I watch it and it there's one that was just hit.
I heard.
Yeah. And then it'll tell you how far away it is from you.
Yeah, how far?
It's so cool. Hang on, I have the free version, so close? I have to watch through a commercial.
Yeah, it
was 2.2 miles away. Yep, that was the one that just struck.
Cool.
Yep.
It's actually amazing. More
and then you could watch
hit.
It go over the I was telling my girlfriend this because every time we're on a hike, I see trees like that are hit by lightning and I go, lightning, lightning. You know, I'm like pointing it out because we were on this hike, Sarah. And I pointed out one time and my girlfriend's like, no way. Like that's like, and I told her, I'm like, if you knew the actual number of times that the earth is struck by lightning daily, or it would blow your, however much you think it is, times it by like 1,000, if not more. It's so huge. So yeah, every single one of those, lightning, lightning, lightning. And so I pulled up my app and I showed her and she's like, oh shit, you're right. Which I love to hear. Hello.
What if Sarah's going to single-handedly change the meaning of the phrase struck by lightning. Now it's going to mean like something that happens all the time.
All the time. It's like very common actually.
It is, and that's what I mean. I can't believe more people haven't been struck by it. Let's knock on wood because I don't want to have this happen to me or anything.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it seems like it could happen a lot.
Right. That's why when I went to my class at REI on hiking 14ers, which
What'd
is
they say?
mountains. They said that was the majority of the class was lightning awareness and
What do they
getting
tell
off.
you to do?
You got to leave really early in the morning because you have to get down off that mountain. Most of the afternoons in June, July in Colorado are going to be stormy. The clouds roll in. So you got to get down off that mountain by about 2:00 before the afternoon storms come in. Because if you're above that tree line, you are the antenna.
I don't like that.
And you should definitely not, if you hear lightning or hear thunder, you run down the mountain. You do not go to shelter. You need to get down as fast as you can and do not try to like find shelter in a cave or something like that.
Why?
Because
why not a cave?
Because you still have the likelihood. There may be not enough covering. There's still a likelihood of getting hit, and so you just have to worry about getting down the mountain as fast as you can, because that is. They said about 5 to 6 people a year get struck in Colorado, like hiking those 14ers. So.
That's not a lot. That's not a small amount.
That's what I said. Yeah. And the people who ran the course said everyone who climbs these regularly knows somebody who has been, which is crazy.
What? I don't like that.
I didn't either. So none of that is what I'm talking about.
Sharing.
We're talking about the moon, but
go ahead.
We thought we'd talk about. I don't know what. Oh yeah,
well, you
the
were
actual
saying
thunder
we
and
can't
lightning
because of international.
Oh, yes.
Celestial bodies.
Scientists say that ancient asteroids have, hit the moon, and their impact have turned lunar craters into these cosmic treasure chests. But there are a whole bunch of treaties. There is this treaty I didn't know about. I mean, I kind of heard and had the idea, but I wasn't really, aware of what these actually were. It sounds like something in science fiction, really. The Outer Space Treaty of 1967 forbids national ownership of celestial bodies.
Yeah, I like that.
But it's unclear. This is the part with the big asteroid asterisk. It's unclear of how it applies to private companies or asteroid mining.
Right.
Like no nation can own a celestial body. Yeah. But what if old Elon Musk gets up there?
Because when we watched the Titan submersible documentary, do you remember that phrase that the Stockton Rush would say? Access is ownership.
Yes.
And if you're the only one that has access to this asteroid or fucking whatever, moon, then you fucking own it.
You own it.
Essentially.
Trillions of dollars.
Well, there's no way to prevent it, though, because
I know it's absolutely what's going to happen. And doesn't that feel like the thing that would be most likely, but also, of course, that's going to happen. Of course, the moon is full. This feels like,
and 0 women want to own it,
right?
And a lot of men do.
That is so true. Oh.
They're so weird.
That's how that's going to be like the next wave of natural resources.
You know how they're fucking obsessed with living forever right now? Like that Brian Johnson guy and all those guys. Right. The next thing is going to be like owning a moon or whatever.
Man. I don't wish death upon anybody. I never would ever wish that in a million years. I don't want that.
With that.
But if he were to do something like choke on a pea or an apple or like get something like a flesh-eating bacteria from swimming in some lake.
Hypothetically.
I just think it would make for a lot of people would want to read that article. It would give us something interesting.
Would get Schadenfreude for sure.
Yes,
because of his obsession about not dying.
Yeah.
If he died in any way,
right? In any way, right?
Which he will.
It's like the Adkins guy and the
oh my god,
Segway guy.
I was gonna say the Segway.
That is just the. It's so sad, but it's.
Let's remind people how the inventor of the Segway died.
Falling off a cliff on a Segway. Your own invention killed you. And I feel like that may have...
so great.
I bet this happened a long time ago. Like, I heard something about the inventor of Vaseline eating 3 tablespoons of it a day. Have you heard this?
No.
I'm gonna look this up real quick because look it up.
Let's get the facts straight.
I do believe that is a thing. Yes, that's correct. Robert Chesborough, the inventor of Vaseline, was known for claiming that he ate the spoonful of his product daily. He believed it contributed to his long life. He lived to be 96 years old.
So here's the problem with, what's his name, Robert?
Yeah.
Robert's hypothesis here is flawed because
absolutely
he may have lived longer if he hadn't had a teaspoon of Vaseline each day. But there's petroleum in it.
Yeah, but it says that it's not toxic, but it's also not recommended to ingest it. Here, the one thing that I could say may have helped, this is not a health claim.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm going to say?
I think I do, because
cleaning
my brain is
gut
always
health.
thinking about that.
Yes, yeah. I think that's it. It's like
you get things moving,
and maybe it's
smooth and
maybe gut health. Yeah, and I could see in like a meat and potatoes age of like, oh
my God, they were not eating a lot of produce,
right?
Yes.
So I think maybe that could have been.
Wait, should we eat Vaseline?
See, this definitely should follow that. But here's what I do know. One of the biggest, whenever I would hang out with friends who were pregnant, the piece of advice that I heard here and there that always stuck in my mind is, as soon as you start going into labor, eat a gigantic tablespoonful of coconut oil, because the number 2 you're going to take after pregnancy is like a birth the second time. It's like the worst because you're in so much pain. So I hear that lubing it up with the old coconut oil is the best way to go.
I love it. Well, coconut oil at least is edible.
Right. That's what I'm saying. That would be more.
Yeah, I think
if you're going
substitute.
To lube up the old pipes, then maybe something that's actually designed for that.
Yeah, you're welcome, everybody. But there's a little tip for you.
Yeah, there you go. I tell all people who are pregnant, even though I've never had to use that trick myself. But from what I hear,
that is a whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, about this moon thing.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah.
What are we supposed to do about it?
I don't fucking know.
Nothing. Like it's just they're gonna do this.
Yeah, there's also
and they're gonna mine the moon or whatever. Can you imagine all the construction?
Oh, could you imagine? And I don't know when this happened, but it's called the Artemis Accords. It's a U.S.-led agreement that was signed by 55 countries. This was aimed at creating guidelines for peaceful cooperative lunar activity, but China and Russia have not signed it. So,
Well, so far so good with lunar activity. Most of these bozos can't even get there.
Yeah, and most of them think, a lot of people think it was, not a lot, not most, dummies, conspiracy theorists, think it was faked, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard.
I have to say something. I want to know your theory, because we all know that your greatest fear is
being trapped in the international. Yes. Sorry. Yeah, I cut you off. Correct.
Yeah, you were like scared.
Yeah.
Her fear is to be trapped in the International Space Station.
Right.
And it is her version of being buried alive, really.
Yeah.
Because you're just out there and
you're going to suffocate.
Right. Well, obviously, Lincoln, my son, does not know that's your biggest fear. And he told me the other day he had a nightmare. And I said, what was it about? And he said it was about my worst fear.
Go on.
And I said, what is your worst fear? And he said, being trapped in space. Yeah.
Okay. I swear to God, me and your son have so much in common.
What the fuck? Do you think it's like the ADHD neurodivergent thing? Is it I do this to people?
No, oh my God. No.
What could that be? What is the common thread, Sarah? I don't know anyone else with that fear, although I'm sure there are other people.
He's also the only person I know who gets frozen throat instead of brain freeze. And we both have that in common too.
Yes.
You remember when we learned that? And I was like, what did you just say?
Yes.
And I was like, what did you? Wait, we're the same? That was the best.
If you're a person who gets brain freeze like regular people, well, there's a whole subset of people that get the equivalent, but in their throat. And you call it throat freeze?
I call it frozen throat.
Frozen throat. And they like are very defensive about it and want you to know painful. It is just as bad or worse.
But that's how I feel about you brain freeze people. Like when you go, oh, my brain is, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? That doesn't happen.
Well, but like everyone's had a headache, and like if you have like a really severe, like, sharp headache, that's relatable. Not everyone has had a throat ache.
You're 100% correct. It's insane.
At any rate, I guess a lot of people have frozen throat, but I want to know what makes you people the way you are.
My feeling of being trapped on the International Space Station or in outer space and something like that.
Yeah.
Is being stuck in a situation that I can't get out of. Like I'm stuck in it's like the situation I'm in is beyond my control. Wow. Yeah. I usually have that on challenges a lot when it's just like,
I mean, sadly, this is relatable to anyone who's experienced like assault or
right.
Yeah. Like, and so I'm like, why is that his fear?
Maybe there's something about leaving school, like that transition from being at school to not being at school, or like, I maybe there's something with that in like transitions or letting go or moving on from something, maybe like that.
I have to ask him in greater depth.
Yeah. Like what, maybe. Because
I was stuck on the fact that you guys were the same. I didn't dive deep into like why, the motive behind it.
Right. Ask him like what else that feels like in real life.
Okay.
Because like, that feeling that you have when you woke up from that dream.
Yeah.
What other times do you have
does it feel like to you?
Like that panicky that I'm trapped. Like I think about it when I was like trapped in relationships, or when I'm like somebody else is controlling my environment, like being on the challenge and I can't even turn out the lights when I want to. That I can.
Okay, I'll ask him.
It feels like a panicky, like I'm breathing in my chest, not in my stomach, kind of feeling.
Okay, I'll keep you all posted about this, but
and maybe it'll help for him to identify the ways that he's not that he's in control of things, like decisions that he gets to make, to kind of feel like you're free. I guess
given his OCD, yes, I mean these are themes.
I can see that.
Okay.
So maybe just like a lot of
Do you think
this
you have
one
OCD?
Or that one? I know I do.
Oh, okay.
The therapist, I've already been diagnosed with that. I just never talk about it. Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah. It just presents in a different kind of way. It's like, it's...
Well, because you're a checker. I know that.
Yeah. Yeah. Checking. And it's also like when I can get fixated on people needing to it almost shows up like socially and relationally, like when I need somebody to understand my point, or I really have to then like.
Remember when you were fixated on the hot tub chlorine?
Yeah, that is the exact moment that my therapist was like, "You have OCD."
You have OCD. Yeah.
That was. She's like, "This is not." She said, "Has anybody ever diagnosed you with those?" And I said, "Yeah, yes." And so,
oh my God.
Yeah, that pops up.
You have so many things going on.
I know, the whole fucking alphabet. That's what I'm saying about feeling like maybe I don't want to be gay. I just want, not like I don't want to be,
yes,
but like can I just be regular? Can I just be like the norm for like just be normal?
Yeah.
And so saying I don't. I absolutely love the fact that I am, and I love accepting that and saying that, but it's just processing it and like, Yeah, it's a whole thing.
I'm thankful for all the ways that you're you.
Oh, thanks, Suze.
I really am, Sarah. I'm not being silly.
I do remember when you were saying like, oh, I think I'm learning more about women on the spectrum and like how a lot of the, I think your quirks or things like that are symptoms that people just don't realize because they're funny or whatever. I have now noticed that when I'm in social settings, people laugh at things when I'm absolutely not making a joke.
I've seen this.
I am, and I laugh too because I'm like, oh, okay. And I notice it. Right. And I see how that happens to my brother all the time, but I never see, I am now recognizing how it happens to me where I'm like, even on this most recent camping trip, I was like, oh shit.
Do you have an example?
I was not making a joke
it's
there.
Just nothing springs to mind, or was there like an actual incident where you were talking about something?
Nothing. Next time it happens, I'll give you the example.
Because I have observed it.
But it does happen, and I'm like, not making a joke there, being definitely earnest and but I'll go with it. I like an audience, and I'm here for making people laugh, and
Yeah.
So
yeah.
You
have so many things.
So many things.
I'm just glad you're you, though. Don't worry.
Well, thanks. I'm going to give you one little story because it's just like a little teeny tiny little thing that I read in that Scientific American magazine.
I want you to.
That was really exciting for me because of my 23andMe results and genetic predispositions. So, researchers in China have developed a retinal prosthesis using metallic nanoparticles that may help restore vision in people with conditions like age-related macular degeneration.
Can you say that normal?
Yeah. So
they made a retinal what?
So particles were injected into blind mice's eyes, which 3 blind mice. I mean, hello. Can we put that clip? Can we put a picture of that up right now?
Adam, right.
Cut to 3 blind mice. That's so funny. Which is funny because then part of me was like, where did they get 3 blind mice? And then
are they prone?
Fairy Tale World was like, here you go. No, I'm kidding. They're not.
They're prone to blindness, though,
I think they make them. I think they probably do something to turn off or turn on. Like,
well, but the fact that that song exists, like, do you think maybe this is like a thing they're genetically?
Or could that song have developed from that toxic, like that neurotoxin that thing that mice can get, where it's from cats? It's like a parasite thing.
It's so gross.
And they start running. Oh, because
yes,
3 blind mice. See how they run. So maybe it's like that. Maybe it's
from cat.
It's from them acting weird, and they just made a song about that. I don't know. This is Sarah's got a theory.
I think we actually have talked about that on the show.
Okay.
I think that you're remembering something we actually learned.
Well, there you go.
And forgot.
Which is how this show goes. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So they found a way that they can shoot things in their eyeballs.
Particles were injected into blind mice's eyes, and that successfully mimicked retinal
mice. But it's right because you're doing apostrophe S. Yes. But every time you say it, I can't.
But it wouldn't be mouses, right? Because I know I'm right.
Because it's like mice is plural, but then you're saying
the eyes of mice.
I couldn't get past it.
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay. Into them. And they successfully mimicked retinal cell functions by converting light into electrical signals sent to the brain.
Yeah.
So, and how they tested this was mice had to touch a target in order to receive water, and mice that had the implant performed far better than the untreated mice. So, results are very promising with minimal toxicity after 2 months. And
I hope that's true.
I hope that's true too, because that is the one thing that I have my grandma
is scary,
suffered from that. My aunt is currently getting shots into her eye to slow the progression of it. And it's, looking good.
Do they say she has that?
Yes. I mean that she has the
gene.
Yeah. And so do I. I have it on both sides too. I know.
Okay.
So we want this.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Okay, great. And you should also take like whatever the vitamins are for eyeballs.
I know, but I have to
What,
do
you don't
more
want
research. Well, let me tell you this.
Tell me.
My mom had a dream where my grandma visited her and said, I was wrong about the eye medication. You have to look into the eye medication because I think it's not good. And so I now want to double check because I don't know.
Well, that's the worst.
I know. So you like that, who knows? Like maybe it's like one of those things where your body then.
You're just kind of thinking, maybe I'll just let things.
Right. Or like you shouldn't start until you actually have the symptoms because then you maybe encourage like.
What was the medicine? Was it vitamin
Preservision.
K? Oh, it was a specific medication?
Yeah.
Wait, Preservision.
Yeah.
I'm going to look that up.
I haven't looked it up. I haven't done, I have no idea. But this is just a dream my mom had like
of course,
a few
I understand,
months. But when she said it, I was like, and she also said grandma has never come and visited me. And then she came and it was clear as day that she needs to tell us this.
I don't like that.
I didn't like it either. So I was like, okay, I'm going to just.
That would freak me out.
It did freak me out. So here we are. So now I'm like, they said don't start until you're in your 40s, but so now I'm like, I'm going to do a little bit of research because, you hear all this stuff like long-term Benadryl use causes Alzheimer's and dementia. There's a link with that. So that's something that my mom gets a reaction to everything. That woman takes that stuff like candy. So I'm like, oh shit, that like we need, I don't know. So I'm going to look into
it's a lot.
all this stuff.
Okay.
Who knows?
Well,
and hopefully these mice,
I hope they get
cured. Yeah.
Yeah, for real.
Nanoparticle technology.
Great work. Wow.
There you go.
I learned a ton.
Oh, I'm so glad. Me too. And this felt very cathartic and like a good episode. So thanks.
It was a great
friends.
episode and very cathartic. And I learned a lot. What more could you ask for, people? Use our codes for Pete's sake.
There you go.
We give you so much. All right. We love you. We'll see you next time.
Bye.